So
General Sal's.
Okay, so is it
My entire life.
is it General Sows or General Sows?
It's not a real person, so I don't really know.
Do you know that?
You don't know that? Yeah.
Yes, I do.
No,
I've Googled it.
it's not a real
It's not a real person.
It's on the
It's
internet.
on the internet.
Yeah,
It's
no,
got to be
it's
real.
clearly
Yeah,
it's not
do you
a real
believe
person.
everything on the internet, dude?
And it's an
It is a real
American
person.
thing.
You do, Seb.
It's a conspiracy theory, dude.
I've always thought General So. Is it
You
General
know,
Sow?
it's
Am I
Sow.
wrong?
I think
it's
Sal.
Sal.
General So.
How is it
I think
spelled?
it's
Is it
silent.
TSO? Because
Yeah,
if it's
it's
TSO,
TSO.
it's so.
Well,
It is so.
I don't like any of you, so we're gonna move on. I'm not even afraid.
It's okay. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the answers that you have wrong, and we're working through it. We're working through it together. We're all learning together that you're wrong. And,
all right,
we're correcting things. That's what we're doing. That's what we do on this show is we correct things.
It's a time for learning, guys.
It is a time for learning.
Okay.
It's a teachable moment.
It's a teachable moment.
Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my... Bacon! Bacon is my podcast! Bacon! Bacon is my...
Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast, a show that is brought to you by GrillYourAssOff.com, by DrinkWildBills.com, and by Poddex.com, where you can get 10% off your entire order by using the promo code BACON.
Because everything is better with bacon. You can also find us at, our other sponsor is at Manscaped.com.
Yeah.
Manscaped.com is going to make you feel fresh, feel confident, feel good about yourself.
Shine those
and
marbles.
Keep those sharbles.
Keep the sharbles.
Easy for me to say.
Yeah.
Marble shiny. And you use the promo code BACONPOD and get 20% off and free shipping. Jim Z,
Yes.
we're here together now, but in a minute, we're not going to be.
No.
We're going to be remote as fuck.
Yeah, this is magic that's happening
This
right
is
now. This
magic.
is like a mind freak.
Sorcery.
Yeah.
Sorcery.
You might not hear the difference if you're listening to the show, but if you do hear a slight difference, it is because we were remote for this episode and this
Right.
interview that we were doing.
I was in South Carolina.
Yes.
Jim was in New York.
Yes.
And the show must go on.
Yes,
That's what we do.
indeed.
Before we move forward with our fun interview with Tim from Telltale, Jim Z, let's kick it over to the peeps over in Rivals.
Oh yeah, let's see what's up with Rivals.
Why don't we play a game right now and play what's on Kaylee's TV screen?
Oh,
Ooh, what's on Kelly's TV screen?
there's no Zoom option here.
Good luck. It's an anime.
It's Frozen.
Oh,
It's an old
okay,
anime.
it's
It's an old anime.
It's
Is it?
the last Airbender.
No. That's like American anime, bro.
that's not
Cowboy
anime, bro.
Bebop?
No, American.
I was gonna say
Anime.
Cowboy Bebop too. I was totally
Not
gonna say
Bebop.
Cowboy Bebop too, but I don't think it is.
Feudal Japan.
Oh,
Feudal
Ninja Scroll.
Japan. Okay.
Ninja Scroll?
No.
What are you watching that on? Is that on Netflix? What is that
What is this on? Funimation?
on? Funimation. Okay.
Wait,
Oh,
hold on.
Cody's watching it.
Oh, we both
That
are.
makes sense.
It's Samurai Shampoo. Or whatever.
Samurai Champloo?
Oh, that's a good
Okay.
one.
Oh.
I used to watch.
Right.
Hellsing on Funimation all the
Helsing
time.
was tight.
Hellsing was super tight. Yeah, absolutely.
I watched
You
this
guys
really.
ever Trigun?
Darwin's game.
What's
It's
that?
on
I'm sorry.
Netflix.
You guys remember
Darwin's Game?
Trigun?
Yes, Josh.
Trigun?
I literally.
Yeah.
I'm literally
absolutely.
watching it right now. They're about to take it off of Hulu.
Yeah. something like
Trigun.
that.
They're about to take it off of Hulu. HBO Max. I don't know, but it's on one of them. Trigun is.
Okay.
Yes, Josh. I was also a big fan of Hellsing.
Nice.
That tattoo will be happening on me at some point.
Do it. That'd be
Absolutely.
sick, actually.
100%.
You should totally do that shit.
When you see it.
100%. I need
What were you
someone
saying?
that's good at line work because it gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
That's what
So
she
what-
said.
So when you're with us,
That's not what she said. That's not what she said. You're wrong, Kaylee. That's not what she
Keeps
said.
getting smaller.
She honestly didn't say anything at all because it was inconsequential.
Smaller.
Awful.
It just didn't matter at all. It just left no impression.
Nothing matters if you really think about it. What?
Oh, that's
The only
that's
thing
true.
that matters is dark.
Yeah.
Oh, man,
Nobody?
that looks-
Okay, there it is.
I got it.
I'm
Wait,
I got
no,
it.
I'm with
That's
you.
crazy.
I like it.
That was
I like
just-
it.
Oh my god.
I
And
got
Dark
it.
Matter is out now, and also we're gonna go to Brooklyn and see you guys tonight.
Yeah.
And everybody else should go see you guys tonight as well.
Oh, okay. So we're coming back, is what he's saying. We're about to cut to break. And
No.
we're gonna come back-
There's no break. There's like a thing where it was.
Oh, I mean, we're gonna-
in my mind, I was like, "Oh, cool! I can separate it there."
We're
And then
done
we talked about
right
the
now.
anime.
We're done.
Boom. And now we're talking about tonight's show, and finally, some General So's or Sal's chicken.
Did you?
It only
did you
took-
do it already.
2
Yeah.
3
Are you
weeks.
Are you gonna know what to-
You know, it was two
Yeah.
weeks. It was
That
4
is-
episodes, 2 weeks.
That is the craziest marination for chicken. Especially
so. What
for
do you
General
use? What do
Tso.
you use for the breading?
Especially for General Tso.
That's what's super important. What are you using for the breading?
Flour.
Uh
I'm
huh.
sorry, I'm sorry.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
You don't
One
Talk
second.
with,
Uh huh.
talk with your mouth full. Don't be weird.
No, silence
Um,
is good for a podcast.
I do like a flour cornstarch like mixture, and I'll
Oh.
dip it into eggs, put it back in the cornstarch, and then deep fry the bitch.
Gets crispy that way.
And what kind of what are you using for the sauce? Because Jen, my wife, she makes some pretty dope sesame chicken,
I love
but
it.
she uses like ketchup and
Yeah.
honey and stuff, and it's
Mhm.
like use ketchup for
Yeah.
Chinese food. Come on. But
Yeah, I
but
usually
it
make
fucking works.
Yeah, it does. I typically make like a honey sesame chicken when I make like sesame chicken, just because I like the thicker element of the honey, and then I also like it really sweet when I do it. So I like add brown sugar, all that shit. So
honey and brown sugar. That's
Yeah.
ooh,
I just
quite
like
sweet.
to die. And then dark soy sauce and stuff.
Matter.
Yeah, matters.
Dark matter.
Dark matter.
I got it at an Asian market. Or black soy sauce. That's what it's called.
Black soy
Oh.
sauce. All right.
I don't think I've ever seen that.
It's like really thick. Like
Nah.
Viscosy. It's
That's
like, it's
what
like
she said.
motor oil.
it's pretty good.
That's what she
But-
said. Viscosy.
Yeah.
She's like, that's how I like my men. Viscosy.
Viscosy is
Ew.
awful. It's such an awful word. Ugh, awful.
It's worse than moist.
So yeah, we're gonna go see you guys tonight, and we're gonna bother you and all that stuff.
Yeah,
It's
we're
gonna
gonna be
fun.
super annoying.
We're gonna be
Before your show, we're gonna try and make everybody's stomach and mouth feel terrible.
Yay.
And then after the show, we're just gonna be hanging out. So
Yeah.
you'll be able to give us the finger afterwards. It'll be great.
it'll be
It'll be
wonderful.
great all around.
My house is about 40 minutes away. There's only one bathroom, so sorry.
So you're not
That's
going
fine.
there.
yourself, guys.
You're
We get
40
we get
minutes
hotels.
away. Stop that conversation right there.
All right, guys. So we're gonna go to the next segment.
You
Bye.
mean we're leaving them now and we're gonna come back later?
Yeah, I guess so.
All right. That's what's up with Rivals.
That is Dark Matter out now. Go see them on tour, buy your tickets, all that stuff. We are at rvls.com. But today we're here to talk to our buddy Tim from Telltale.
If you listen to the 7 questions, you got to know a little bit more about him. He's a cool dude. We have a great conversation coming up all about music, all about
Recording.
and
Yeah.
just
That's what
band-
we do.
Band stuff.
That's the things we do.
But yeah, had a great conversation with him. He's a very cool guy. So definitely jump on, take a listen, but also go check out Telltale if you haven't already.
Really
check
good
out their
band.
music. Really good band.
Indeed.
And check them out live soon. And yeah, let's get to that interview. How about now?
Now.
Now.
No.
Now.
No. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick time out. We want to tell you all about our awesome sponsor, Manscaped. Manscaped.com. We've been telling you about them since the beginning of the year. We've been users for years. But now they've put out the new Ultra Premium Collection. And what the Ultra Premium Collection includes is a 2-in-1 shampoo conditioner, a body wash, a hydrating body spray, deodorant, and lip balm. And what you do is you go to the shopping cart.
Yep.
You put all your things in there.
Yep.
And when you're done, you use the promo code BACONPOD, and you get 20% off and free shipping.
I'm going to stop for 1 second, and I'm just going to let you guys know that I've actually been using this stuff for the last 2 weeks. I got my order 2 weeks ago, and I've been using it every day. And so I'm just going to give you a super fast review. The shampoo conditioner is awesome. My hair feels great. It doesn't feel dry. It's not loaded down. It's not weighted down. And it actually feels really good. The body wash is awesome. It lathers up really great. I use a very little bit of it. I'm kind of like a sponge guy, so I'll put it on the sponge, loofah, or whatever you want to call it. And it's awesome. The surprise for me has been the body spray. It's really awesome. I never used anything like that before. I got it and I was like, what's this gonna do? I'll tell you what, as a person with tattoos, man, my arms feel dry every now and then. And sometimes for you that have tattoos, you understand that like when it gets dry, you start to feel like a raised up area for where your tattoo was. This actually, it smells great and it feels great and it keeps you hydrated. My hands, my arms, my tattoos, that's what I've really used it on. I haven't done the whole body or anything like that. I do use all the other products. I use the crop preserver. I use the foot spray at night. I don't use it during the day because it
The
might
Reviver
leave
as
your
well
feet wet.
for a midday spritz.
Yeah, 100%.
That is not included in this, but
The wipes are key.
you can
all
use
this stuff.
Here we go. We got the wipes too.
Yep.
You can use all this stuff, and you can get 20% off on all of these things. And of course, their flagship Lawnmower 4.0, which I was skeptical. I had the 3.0. They gave us a 4.0. I was like, how much better could it be?
It's better.
It's way better.
I've nicked my sack on the
0
3.0.
times.
And I've nicked my sack 0 times on the 4.0.
Right. So go ahead, go to manscaped.com, use the promo code BACONPOD, get 20% off, get free shipping, and support a really awesome brand that we believe in, and support the show a little bit.
It's really good, guys. I don't care. If it's not good, I'd tell you because I don't care.
Right. So
It doesn't matter to me. But honestly, like I'd use this stuff whether we had a discount or not. And I use our promo discount because that's what we have. So have the same discount that we do.
Indeed.
And go over to manscaped.com and use BaconPod as your discount.
Hey, we are Weather State, and this is Bacon is My Podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Bacon is My Podcast.
What's that sweet radio voice?
Yeah, well, we are the top-rated podcast in Ghana about music with the word bacon in the title.
Yeah.
So
We know our niche.
that's the thing. I mean, we were number 37, I believe.
Yeah.
I didn't know they were going to listen to us, but that's cool. Thank you, Ghana.
Thank you.
This is
Shout out
about,
Ghana.
That's pretty awesome.
This is
I'd like to
about-
go there.
yeah, absolutely. This is not about us, though. This is about our guest, ladies and gentlemen, bassist of the band Telltale out of Richmond, Virginia, Tim Fogg. What's going on, dude?
Not too much. Just hanging in there. It's the weekend, just kind of chilling and sitting. I don't know. Not much happening right now.
Yeah, man. I actually, my wife Jen has some family down in Virginia. We did the What's Your Bacon in 7 questions, and we asked about pizza. When I went to go visit her family down in Virginia, the best pizza there was at Costco at the stand, at the snack stand, according to them. And so we're from New York, and I just wasn't going to cut it.
That sounds pretty accurate, unfortunately, as I've also had New York pizza, and I don't think anywhere in Virginia can really touch that. So you might have found the best possible option at Costco.
Wow. I'm sorry. I feel bad for you guys.
It's
Yeah.
But you're in a band and you guys hit the road. I'm
We
sure,
do.
right? So
Yeah.
what are some of your like your favorite road spots, your favorite places to go? Like you've obviously done East Coast runs and stuff like that. So you've played with some great bands in the past. You know, Real Friends, Assuming We Survive, As It Is, a menagerie of awesome bands. So what's your spot, your tour spot?
We have a couple different ones, I'd say. We like In It. We've been in and out a couple times. That's pretty cool. I'm a big fan of Buc-ee's down in like Texas, if y'all are familiar with that. It's basically like Wawa, but like the Costco version of Wawa. So they have like 100 to like 150 gas pumps and like a literal like store inside of this convenience store that sells everything beaver related. So whenever we pass that place, you gotta stop. It's just is what it is. And then aside from that, we like to go to like taco trucks. Like if we're playing like California or the West Coast, we do like local like taco stands and stuff like that. That are just literally like on the side of the road. But we like to just find, cool spots to eat if prefer not to hit McDonald's every day, but just something cool and different. Like if we're in, like a different region, like Chicago, we tried like a deep dish, and then like Louisiana, we tried, like a Cajun food and stuff like that. So just kind of depends.
Yeah. What's the point of being on the road and going to new places if you're not going to like try their thing?
Exactly.
Every town's got a thing, and it's like, you got to find it. You got to find that thing.
Absolutely. Yeah. Like whenever we go up to Philly, we always eat at Jim's like cheesesteak place or
nice.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, you guys know Jim's. That's what you got to know. Everybody goes, oh, Max, what's it? Pat's or Geno's.
Yep.
Which, by the way, Pat's. But above all.
But Jim's, yeah.
Jim's. Yeah. We had played up there like a couple times, and I was like, yeah, I think we're going to go over to, Pat's or Geno's. And they're like, no, you're not. You're going to go to Jim's. And I was like, I don't know what that is. And then the eyes were opened, and I don't go anywhere else. So it was awesome.
Nice. That's the best part of like, and you guys are being a band that's like in touch with your fan base, that when you do go to places with them, those are your people that are going to let you know where all the cool shit is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they're gonna find, like, if you're in one of those bands that you're gonna go on the road, talk to your fans. Don't be one of those bands that's just like, okay, we're in, we're out. Like, talk to your fans. They'll let you know the spots. They'll bring you to the good. Sometimes they'll bring you to their house. I can't tell you how many times like I've gotten a great meal cooked for me while I slept on someone's couch. But also like, no, you need to go to this restaurant. You need to go to this bar. You need to go to this spot.
Yeah, definitely a benefit of.
I used the former guest card here. I reached out to Falling Through April, and Dan got back to me. I was just like, "Hey, listen, where can I see a rock show? Where's a good spot to go? At night and stuff like that." So he got back to me. So shout out to Dan from Falling Through April. That was pretty sweet of him. But that being said, Richmond. You guys are from Richmond, Virginia. You guys are all about the culture, the art. You guys all say that it's like a very creative environment. Tell us a little bit more about Richmond and its impact on you guys, your music, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, we've all been in Richmond or like most of us have been in Richmond our whole lives, so we've grown up here and everything. I always call it like the biggest, littlest town, like, in the country. We have 200,000 people here, I think, like in the metropolitan area, but I feel like you can always go out to like a bar or something like any random weekend and see a friend or somebody. As far as like, creative aspects go, we all kind of grew up in like the Richmond DIY punk scene or like the metalcore and like hardcore scene. So there was a lot of like, we were always going to shows like when we were like, 15, 16 years old, catching, who was ever playing like down at the Canal Club or, we had Alley Cats here. But yeah, Richmond is kind of like, I feel like it's downtown area is like kind of grimy a little bit. Like, it's not very clean here, but, we just like being from like the dirty South, I guess is what they say. And it's just cool. We just have like a bunch of different, influences from the city, like Lamb of God's from here, Gore, Conditions. We have like Jason Mraz, and then, just random artists, I feel like all kind of contribute to what we kind of do now. Just pull from a weird background of influences, but it's very like Richmond-y, I guess.
That's cool that you guys had places growing up that you could go see, music. I know, like when I was growing up, I grew up in the Midwest. I grew up in like West Lafayette, Indiana. That's where I was growing up. And there was like a few, like there's like a record store that does punk shows out in the back, and you would get those like every month. Or there'd be like another record store that would have someone be at an in-store or something like that. But really there was no place other than that for us to go see anything live, other than going to see like a major artist at like an outdoor concert or something.
Yeah.
So you had a few places growing up that you were able to go check out and see all different kinds of music. At what point do you think that started to kind of like seep in and have an influence on kind of the music that you wanted to make and the music and the way that you were making it?
Probably when I was like about we were about 18 or so, like the pop punk scene here was like really coming up. There was some really solid bands that could pull, like 200 and 300 people for like a local show here. And I also like helped book out this like DIY space called Yellow House here in Richmond. My friend owns like this house, and we convert like basically his living room into a floor space. We've had like bands like Belmont and Capstan there, and just
nice.
Some cooler like Grey Haven, I think, played there one time. And
house shows cool.
Yeah, I'm all about like accessibility and just like having all ages spaces where we can have high school kids or people that really aren't like involved with the music scene come out and like check out a gig. So I'm all about like being like inclusive as far as that goes. And that kind of started back, I'd say, probably around, when I was 18 or so, just seeing everyone be very receptive to everyone. And it's kind of like a very close knit, like, family here in the DIY scene. So I pretty much know everybody here and everybody knows me. And it's just kind of nice to be able to go to a show and, see like everybody, and it's like, how's it going? Like,
right.
So yeah, I don't know. I guess that answers the question.
Yeah. Do you remember like a show or a moment or something like that where you had your like, oh shit, I have to do this. Like I want to do like, do you have a band or do you have like a time that you can remember that was just like, oh, this is my life now. I'm not doing anything but this. This is how it's going to go.
Yeah. There was this church, like church DIY space. It's kind of near the west end of Richmond, like probably about 10, way longer than that, probably like 13, 15 years ago. Mm-hmm. They had like, just metalcore bands from like the state of Virginia play like every 2 weeks. And it would be just these really like, I mean, the bands weren't very good. Like in, hindsight, you're like, all right, that probably is not the best, music or whatever, but like the culture and just like, everybody there was like so receptive, and it was just nice to be, like my mom and dad didn't really like me going to metalcore shows and, hearing somebody, screaming about Jesus or whatever, but it was like, since it was like kind of like in the church realm, they're like, oh, it must be okay.
Right. We'll let this one slide.
Yeah, like, oh, they're at this church, it must be fine. And it just kind of progressed from that. So just, seeing those type of shows. And then I was really into Guitar Hero at the time, and started getting really, serious about like kind of that type thing. And then I eventually bought my own guitar and started forming like, bands and stuff. So I definitely say, going all the way back to kind of those like church DIY shows, it was just like really eye-opening for me to see that you can just pack a bunch of people into a room and like, play a For Today cover or something, and then kids go crazy, and it's just kind of funny.
Right. Now that you're good at playing bass, and I'm sure do you play guitar as well? And
yeah.
When you go back to Guitar Hero, you're like, how the hell was I ever good at this? Or were you able to kind of maintain staying good at that?
I am so bad. I'm like, what happened? I used to be able to play like a bunch of things on like expert, like even
Right.
nothing like too crazy, but like, I could get through all the songs pretty well, but I can't even play like anything. I don't even try because it's not really like the same
I
to
do
me as far as the thought process goes.
Yeah, my brain shut off for one when it went on for the other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 100%.
when it came to Guitar Hero, I always thought that, okay, the drums, like if you were a musician, if you played guitar or whatever, and you can hold a beat, you are awesome at drums on Guitar Hero.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you have a concept of it. I feel like a lot of people like they go more with like the lyrics and stuff like that, and I found that like a lot of the Guitar Hero notes and stuff were all by like the melody,
all rhythm. Yeah. The whole thing's rhythm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I was always terrible at Guitar Hero, except for drums. And then when they came out with drums, I was like, I'm in.
I could never do the drums. I feel like it I guess when they had like the World Tour one out and it had like the cymbals up top,
Yeah.
kind of like that. Like that was a bit like more realistic, but just like I don't know, it was harder just the pads.
I
Yeah.
forgot about those.
Do you also play drums?
Like occasionally, yeah. I have like a little electronic kit and like our drummer's drum set up in like the top of my house. So
Right.
yeah, I kind of play whenever I can. Just I don't know, I'm not very good, but it's something to do.
Dude,
It's your heart rate up, man. It's better
that
than
you can do any of it. It amazes me.
it's better than hopping on a treadmill.
Yeah. You
Oh,
can
I
just
feel
beat the drums for like 15 minutes and it's like, all right, I
I'm
worked
done.
out.
That's all.
I don't know how you guys do. I get behind drums and I'm like, okay, so wait, my arm on my leg, wait, and then my other leg, wait, and then my other arm.
Yeah.
I can't wrap my head around it. Like I can play guitar, I can play bass, I can sing. Get me behind drums, and I'm like, sorry. I'm gonna get out from back here before I break something.
That's why you
that's
gotta do
normally
electronic drums. Electronic drums, you're always way better. You're always better than you actually are.
I have a set of electronic drums right here, and I'm not any better.
Well, Annie's probably great.
Yes, my girlfriend plays, and she sings, plays guitar, plays drums. She does everything. She's awesome. Punk band called Jackknife Stiletto. If anybody wants to check them out, shout out to Jackknife Stiletto.
Yeah, I'll check them out.
Yeah, definitely. They're really good.
Yeah. So you said the band is up in your house. So what do you have set up? Is it like do you have like your own recording studio? Like for obviously you're working with some Zach Jones who does like okay guys, Fever 333, Little Lotus, that kind of stuff. No big deal. But like do you guys track it at home now or anything like that? Like how did you having the practice space affect you guys? And then especially with COVID, that was another thing that I built a practice space.
Okay.
So, how'd that impact you guys? Do you guys record on your own?
We do. Yeah, we do some demoing on our own. All the drums that we do are like electronic, or like just programmed.
Right.
The drum kit is actually in my house because we shot the Lie Royale video in here, like pretty much the whole video in my house. So the drum scenes from that are actually like we just left it up there like untouched. We don't practice like a ton, unfortunately, unless there's like a show, which probably sounds horrible to everyone listening to this, but we all practice like on our own quite a bit. Our vocalist John has actually relocated to Nashville about 6 months ago, and our guitarist Bryce is like coming off of like a knee surgery, so it's just been kind of getting back into the swing of things,
right,
as far as that goes. But we all practice individually, and when we have like a tour or something, we'll dedicate like quite a few days just to making sure we don't sound terrible.
Well, I think that's important to bring up, and I think that a lot of people out there listening, they think of the old way of, okay, well, a band is 4, 5, 6 people in a space that just slam chords and drums for hours and hours and hours, and that's what a band is. They go in, they sweat this gross, and that is a way to do it. But there are a lot of bands who write and record and do things remotely, and then they, like you said, you practice on your own. You learn your own things, but then when it comes showtime, you rehearse, you figure your shit out, you get things together, and that's how you do it. That's kind of how I've been doing it for a little while now too. I only have 2 official members in my band, and when we need somebody to play bass or guitar, or
he's one of them.
I am one of them.
One or two.
Sometimes, but yeah, it's a different world out there, and it's very different. And yeah, I love that you guys are, especially with your singer relocating. I think it's great that you guys are still able to continue to be a band together. That's huge.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say back to the whole like getting in a room and just kind of jamming thing. We like all of our previous bands that we were in before Telltale, we all did that like type of method where we would just, all right, let's play like songs for 6 hours straight and like try and write a song like in this room. Like if I lock everyone in this like storage unit or this room, we're gonna write like a song, and it's gonna be sick. And now like we kind of do like the second method you said there. We demo a lot on our own. Like we'll normally record 30 seconds to like a minute of a song, and then compile like 30 to like 50 smaller tracks like that. And then when we go to record, we start pulling out like ideas from these demos, showing them to Zach, and then he'll be like, all right, that one sounds cool, let's work that one. Or like, no, that sucks. He's essentially like a 5th member of our band. We've been recording with him for like 4 or 5 years now, and he just understands like the vision of what we're going for, and it's just really easy for us to communicate with him. And like we come from the same background, same parts of like Virginia and everything, and we just get each other. So I think it's a little bit unique kind of how we write. I don't think too many bands do that, but ours isn't really like, it's not like really a choice, it's just kind of like what we do, I guess.
Right. Well, you find what works, and it is so important to have that, like having that producer /
having that guy,
engineer that's not playing, that's an outside ear but gets you and understands what the band's voice is, because I think that's the one thing every band is kind of like searching for at the beginning, is you got to find like what's your band's voice that's going to put out there. It's easy take 4 or 5 guys, put them in a room and make them sound like anyone. You can kind of do that. But then to find out like who that 4 or 5 guys is, and what that voice is and what those people are trying to say and all that kind of stuff is really important. And to have that outside ear has got to be super valuable. Yeah,
definitely. So I'd say, I think with these upcoming tracks we've definitely like found more of our voice per se. Our last record, Timeless Youth, was more of like a straightforward like pop punk song or a pop punk album, and with this one we've kind of been experimenting with some different like elements. Been trying to sound like Seether on one song, and then like another song might try and sound completely different, and just kind of whatever makes sense and kind of what we're kind of feeling. So
I love that. Like I love leaning into the influence. Like that's something that my band definitely kind of found ourselves like totally throwing ourselves into over COVID and everything, because it was like, okay, we're not putting a record out, let's put out singles, and this single kind of has a Cheap Trick vibe. Well, let's really lean into it and let's do synths and extra vocals and this and that and the other. Well, this one has a Motorhead vibe, so let's really lean into it and let's dial back those guitar tones, and let's get my buddy Mike to come scream on a track, and let's do this, let's do that. I think finding that and having that freedom and that ability to be like, we're not one thing, we're one idea, and this is our thing, but we all like different styles, and we're not afraid to put them in. That's one thing I really like about your guys' sound, is that like you grab a song like Cobain, and you've got one, you've got like a female vocalist on part of the song as well. You've got, you know, that you kind of bring that bridge down into almost like there's almost like a hip hoppy vibe in parts of it that's going on too. But then you have this like aggressive like rock song that's the heart of it all, that's kind of incorporating this stuff. And then you've got, you know, you've got the new song Lie Away Out that has a different vibe entirely, but it's still you guys and it still sounds like you guys. Right. I think that's really cool. I think that's a cool way to do it.
We'll be right back.
This episode of Bacon is My Podcast is brought to you by drinkwildbills.com and grillyourassoff.com. Use promo code BACON to get 10% off your entire order.
Yeah, grilling season is never over, and you always want to quench your thirst, and why not do it with some craft-made beverages by Wild Bills.
The two work together pretty awesome.
Yeah, agreed. So go ahead, hit them up. Check it out. It helps them, which are awesome companies, and it helps us.
It helps us, and it helps you.
And it helps you to
because you like
live a more flavorful life.
You like delicious things in your mouth.
Indeed. So do it now.
Do it.
Hi, I'm AJ from Werewolves, and you've been consuming Bacon is My Podcast.
I also like how DIY you guys kind of are. You do all your own videos. You do all your own, you know, like you guys write your own songs. That was one thing that like I've heard in a couple different interviews where you guys talked about, like, if you're not writing your own songs, are they your songs? Is it your band? That type of idea. I saw on your Twitter, Bryce Marshall, who you did the video with, put up a little short video of someone rolling him on a hand truck to get zoom in shots of you playing bass for the video.
Yeah.
And I love just that idea of like, okay, here's some hacks that we do because we don't have $100,000 steady gigs for cameras to move them around, and we're not paying for all this stuff. We're doing this with people that are creative and good at what they do and good at working with what they have. What are some like things that you remember or ways that you guys have, like, do you remember that? Do you remember, like, I'm sure you remember playing bass and having someone on a hand truck be rolled in front of you and back of you. What are some other like kind of like DIY things that you guys have done or that you kind of that stood out to you as like, oh man, that works? So
yeah,
throw them out to some of our people that are shooting their own videos and doing their own music.
Yeah, the hand truck idea, back when we were filming like one of our first music videos back in like 2018, we had this guy fly over from like Europe, and he's a really, really great like video producer. He did like our Rose video and like the Timeless Youth videos. But he just didn't have like a ton of like his gear because obviously he flew over here.
Right.
So he told us to like get a hand truck, like the little cart thing, and he's like, yeah, just bring that. We'll use that. And I'm like, I don't really understand how this works. Well, he got pushed around for like the entirety of those two shoots, like on a hand truck, and he's like, I can mimic like literally anybody's like professional video using this like cheap little hack thing, and no one can tell, and it looks sick. And it's like, okay. So when we've been filming our stuff here recently, Bryce has recently gotten to like videography and like photos, and then John does a lot of our graphic design, pretty much does all of our merch designs and stuff. He remembered that kind of trick to like, I don't have a gimbal, so you have to push me around on this hand truck around your house. It's like, okay, whatever makes it look the best, you know?
Right.
So that's a cool trick. We used a bunch of ring lights from like Walmart and stuff to help with the lighting for that shoot.
Okay.
So awesome. Very interesting. As I mean, I didn't think it was going to work, but I guess it worked. And then I'm trying to think if there was any other hacks that we kind of had. We taped a lot of like lights and stuff to like different parts of different parts of the house when we were filming it, like with duct tape and stuff, and it surprisingly worked. But yeah, we're pretty, I'd say I mean, we have like rude, obviously, like, you know, putting out our music and everything, but
Yeah.
as far as like kind of the day-to-day stuff goes, yeah, we're pretty DIY. John, like I said, does all of our merch. And then we order like everything ourselves, and, you know, have relationships with all like Merch Now and like all these companies and stuff. And then I handle a lot of our booking too. So pretty, like, I'd say about like half the tours we've done, I've booked them, and stuff. So it's just,
Which isn't easy.
no,
a lot
it's not.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
horrible.
How not
It is horrible.
booking a tour is. Booking locally, okay, fine. Like,
Yeah.
you could get, if your band can bring, you know, 50 people into a place, you can very easily get it. If your band can bring 20 people into a place, let's be honest here,
Right. You can
Yeah.
get into a lot of
get
places.
something locally. But booking a tour is not easy.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yeah,
No,
yeah. From my experiences doing that too, it's. I got to say though, having a band where you have different members that are breaking up those jobs and doing those jobs is awesome. It's got to be awesome. You know, like
Unicorn.
like I've had situations where I was taping lights to the wall, and I was also booking the tour, and I was also designing the merch. It becomes a lot. So the fact that you guys kind of are able to work together and work out like, hey, this one's good at this, this one's good at this, this one's good at this. I'll take this on. This is a pain in the ass job, but I'll do it. You know, and like everybody can kind of like grab those roles. That's
Amazing.
one of the main reasons, like honestly, that bands do find success is because if you have everybody working for that singular goal, then you move forward a lot faster, you know? So that's one thing I got to say. And that's probably why you guys are able to write and continue to produce things the way that you are, being spread out and not quite as much like having a, you know, like rehearsing 5 times a week or getting together that often or anything like that as well, is that you're just kind of able to stay focused and stay on task with it. So that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, we definitely have to be kind of creative with just how we operate on like a day-to-day basis. But yeah, we all have like kind of our individual, you know, tasks and everything that we all kind of know our role. That's kind of like the backbone of like Telltale. Everybody has a role. Everybody is good at, you know, what they do. I do the booking and, you know, handle most of the emails. Bryce does our social stuff, and like he can do a lot of like, you know, video editing. And then we have John who does, you know, photo editing, graphic design. And then Travis is really good at connecting with people like in person at shows and just, you know, walking up and talking to a group of people and just like, hey, what's up? Like, here's a sticker, you know. That's something I don't prefer to do just because I find it to be awkward, but he can like strike up a conversation with anybody, which is like kind of a gift. So
some people have that, man. Some people have that.
Yeah.
People have it. Some people don't. Some people force themselves to do it.
Yeah.
Some people are the guy pushing themselves on the handcart and shooting at the same time.
Yeah.
You gotta respect the hustle, you know, whatever anybody's good at. Like I can go up and talk to anybody at a club without any problem at all, but I cannot stay on top of, like, I suck at the emails. I just can't.
Yeah.
I just can't.
To have everyone just to have a role. So it's like, we all understand, like, you know, I'll just knock this out and like, we'll take care of it and stuff, you know.
Right. That's cool.
Things.
So for people that are listening, and we have been talking about your videos, like your videos look excellent. Like all your videos look really, really, really good. I was totally like, I did a deep dive and watched like everyone I could find, and kind of went through all of them. The music's really great too. Like I became a fan over the last couple of days when I was like figuring out, you know, what we were going to talk about and what kind of stuff I wanted to bring up. One thing that stood out to me was, and I'll bring up again, both the video for Lie Your Way Out and the video for Cobain had things that kind of stuck out to me, and they were the ones I watched more because I know they're more recent. Cobain was really interesting because the storyline video wise was really cool, how it was like kind of highlighting the idea of this aspiring artist rock and roll lifestyle, right? Like, yeah, it's cool because we're all in a van and we're all driving someplace and we're all playing music and we're doing this, but like, it's showing the side of it that's like, yeah, but I can't pay my rent and this is really hard and I'm sleeping in that same van and I'm doing that. And then it tied it all up at the end with there was a spot at the end that was just saying how 4.2 million youth and adults have experienced homelessness, and giving your link to standupforkids.org where people can find out more information about that. What, like, when you guys were making the video, was that like I guess what I'm asking is like, is that a conscious thing from the beginning to go, hey, we want to kind of wrap this into this cause that we're thinking about, and is that kind of plotted out, or is that kind of while it's all happening you're like, you know what, this also kind of fits and what I've been reading about and what's touching me and what I want it to kind of reach? Does it happen during the process, or is that all kind of thought out ahead of time?
I'd say it's like a mix of both. So yeah, that song is obviously about like, you know, touring musicians kind of being broke, and then just some of like the mental effects that you kind of like endure, you know, on the road. Like you're not near anybody for like, you know, multiple days and in the middle of nowhere, Nebraska or something, you know, kind of just hit a breaking point. But yeah, I think going back to the video, I think that's probably one of my favorite videos we've done, just because it really touches on like kind of like the homelessness of like some of the, you know, aspiring musicians and stuff in like LA. The bridge of that song kind of, it originally didn't sound like that when we were recording it, but I had this idea to kind of put an ode to, or like a nod to kind of like some of like the emo rap kind of stuff that's going on in LA. And like, I'm pretty big into like Lil Peep. So I was like, hey, but what if we like dropped in like this sampled, you know, beat type chord or bridge part as like a nod to like, you know, like them kind of passing away early. The lyrics for the bridge are the white lighter and, you know, sitting outside the 27 Club essentially.
Right.
But yeah, like that whole portion of the song kind of got us going in the direction of the kind of the video direction as well. Just because that's just something that we're kind of been getting into, is just, you know, people living in these tight knit communities that can't really pay rent. There's like 20 people in like a house, and like people work all different types of shifts, and you'll see like somebody's recording like a record that's going on SoundCloud in, you know, one room while some other person's trying to sleep because they just worked all night. So that was kind of like, that's the bridge of that song, and then the video is like a nod to that, and just like how we've kind of found inspiration recently from, I think that's pretty punk rock, like that people do stuff like that.
Yeah.
And so yeah, that's kind of where that came from. It's just a nod to that whole genre of like, and like type of, you know, group, like Goth Boy Clique and everything. It's just like, I just find it pretty sick that I would never do that, but like having, you know, fly out to LA, you know, sleep on somebody's couch for 3 months, work like some really terrible job, and then just like record music with your friends like at night and stuff. And it's just, I find it just to be like really raw.
Yeah.
That video hit me particularly because like that was my life.
Yeah.
You know, like I lived in my van for and people who watch that listen to the show and everything know that I lived in my van for 6 years. Between my van and sleeping in our rehearsal studio. It was like 2.5 years just the van, and then it was van rehearsal studio, and it was also that I could book tours and I had time to do that and stuff, and so, you know, it was I couldn't afford to do anything else, and it was a by choice thing, which is not, everybody can't say that, and that's so that definitely hits, and you know, and I know people that are in many different kinds of situations, but like watching that video was just kind of like, dude, that was my life. That was my life for so long. And it kind of like, you know, it hit on that. And it's cool and it's interesting because like, man, I have so many amazing memories of that, and I wouldn't change it. And it was great. And it was a really, like, I'm so glad that I did it. But also, man, it sucked. And I have horrible memories of that too. And it was really rough. But so just seeing that video like really spoke to me in that way. And you guys, I know, and I'm sure that people that didn't have the exact kind of experience that I did also got a lot from it. But I can just say from me personally, it was like you guys, you hit every single thing. Like,
Yeah.
I was like, wow, all right.
Well, we kind of, yeah, I was gonna say like I mean, like the message of that song is obviously tailored towards like, you know, touring musicians and people that kind of live like an alternative lifestyle, whether that be just like, you know, road tripping or just doing whatever they want, and that's what that song is about. So that's wild that you lived in a van for like 6 years. So props.
Yeah, man. Hey, you know, it's all for the. There wasn't a lot going on in Indiana, so
yeah.
My guy, I was like, yo, this guy, like, he was the gold standard for me in my band. And I was just kind of like, hey, you think you're doing hard things in this band when I asked you to put a post up on social media? Yeah, this dude like lives in his van.
Yeah, that's like extreme dedication. That's amazing.
Hey, man, it's all for the cause.
Yeah.
For the cause.
Speaking of causes, by the way, we have a cause. We have a sponsor.
It's not really a cause.
Well, we're the cause.
Right.
The sponsor is for our cause.
We're going to do this because.
And if you look up here, Tim, we don't usually have visuals like this. We usually just put a bunch of shit in front of the screen. And those are our sponsors' things. But because we're remote and I don't have all of the things, I do have a thing behind me that shows all of the things.
Which is probably a far better way
it's
to show
probably
us.
an easier solution. We should probably switch that. Just, you know.
But yes.
Poddex is a sponsor of ours, and they're pretty cool. They're basically what they are is they're decks of cards, 50 cards in each deck, and they have icebreakers, things for budding podcasters who don't have verbal diarrhea like we do.
Right.
It's a great tool, and you can buy those decks and all those things, but they also have a mobile app, which we haven't used on the show before.
Which we're going to use today.
The remote, you, sir, are the very first
guinea pig for the Poddex
mobile app.
So these are all, if you're watching, these are all parts of their decks that they have available on their mobile app.
So what we're going to do is, what we usually do is we have you pick a deck and then pick a question.
Right. I'm gonna roll off like 3 decks that I think you might find interesting, and then you pick one, and I'll grab a random question from that one.
Yeah.
And then you'll answer that question. So
what I would usually do is I shuffle the deck.
Yes.
Because Jim can't shuffle.
I suck at it.
He's awful. But he's an awful person.
Usually.
But this time, what we're going to do is just let you do it. But we do have to remind them. What do we have to remind them, Jim?
Well, I'm going to pick out the decks this time since I'm not shuffling. So you let them know how it works.
Okay, so how it works is you go to poddex.com. You build a cart full of stuff. You could have pod decks. You can have the app. You can have some of their sweet swag. They've got really cool T-shirts and hats and whatnot. And when you're all done, you go to the cart and you use the promo code BACON.
Because everything's better with bacon.
I do that better, I think.
Of course you do.
Because I've got a lot of practice. But yeah, everything is better with bacon. Use the promo code BACON and you will get a whopping 10% off your whole entire order. And I got to say, depending on how much you buy, 10% off your order, that's a lot of bazooka.
It adds up.
It adds up. So Tim, Jim's I don't know how he's gonna work this.
I'm looking through all these online decks. There's a lot there. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you 3 options. I'm just looking through and after talking to you so far, I'm just grabbing options that I think that you might find interesting. So
also look behind him too. There's something else that I'm itching to ask him about.
Do you want to do that first?
No. Go.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna say that I think you might be into hypothetical questions. I think that you might be into this or that. And philosophy, or how dare you? How dare you?
Yeah. Say it a little louder. Just don't mess with your neighbors.
Let's do this or that.
This
That
or
sounds
that.
fun.
Okay. We've never done that one before, so hopefully
Nope.
it doesn't suck.
Hopefully it doesn't suck.
No, it won't suck. It's Poddex. It's great.
All right. So, headphones or earbuds, and why?
Earbuds, as in like AirPods.
I think
I guess any earbuds that would.
Yeah.
I'd go AirPods for sure. I mean earbuds. I probably use like my AirPods every day for like 8 to 10 hours. I have them in this nice Dr. Pepper case.
Oh, that's nice.
That's nice.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like a lifesaver. I do like some technical recruiting and stuff too when I'm not playing music. So got to talk to people on the phone. And those are just kind of a lifesaver for me.
Nice.
Yeah,
I have to say, like, I haven't tried the new AirPods. I remember, like, I haven't had AirPods for a very long time. I went over to like the in-ear monitors, and I just kind of use those as a thing now.
Yeah.
I've heard that the new AirPods are much more comfortable. I know that like the older ones, man, it just started to hurt after an hour, and it would just be like, oh my God, get this out of my face.
Yeah. The new ones are pretty nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd highly recommend. I also have in-ears, like some Shure in-ears, but I normally just wear those like at shows or something. But those are also very nice.
I just find that like when it comes to wireless stuff, I know I'm going to lose something. So I have like 2 or 3 different types. I've got not a sponsor, but we use MEE Audio.
Yeah, they're very good.
They're very good, and I got their wireless thing, but the ear the little pad always falls off.
Right.
So I gotta go wired. But luckily, their new one, I can go wired with a single or wired with a double, which is pretty sweet.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, that is pretty nice.
Nice little option.
Yeah, I haven't seen that.
You have seen it. I use it every week.
Right, but you have it on. I'm looking at you with it right now. Usually, you're next to me.
That's true. I keep this one out so I can hear him.
Why anyone wants to do that? I don't know.
It's awful. I don't know why I do that. But okay. So moving forward,
yes,
I'm looking at the screen here, and atop of some sort of shelf, there's a Groot.
That's what it looks like. Hold on.
Looks like a Slender Man to me.
It looks like
it's actually it's a wire sculpture that I made when I was like 5 in the 5th grade. But yeah, he can like bend and stuff. I just kind of let him chill up there. It's just made out of like wire that you would find on a fence, and I've just kept him around.
Did you make it while taking a class or something, or are you just naturally crafty?
Yeah, I'm not naturally crafty. I made it in art class.
Okay.
That's just like the project we did. That's like our capstone to go to middle school or something. And
nice, yeah.
My mom had it at her house for a while, and I was like, I'll take that
because wire sculptures are really cool too. I'm not disappointed that it's not Groot.
Yeah, I have had a couple people think that it was Groot, so I'm like, maybe I should. I don't know. I like Groot a lot though, so maybe I'll just name him Groot.
Oh, that's after how many years? What's his name now?
Right now, it's just Wire Sculpture Man. That's his formal name on his driver license. But I might have to go with Groot.
Yeah, that's his government name. We gotta free him.
Damn the man. So do you have like when you're not, recruiting and when you're not doing your music and stuff like that, what is it that turns everything off?
What's
What
your
do you
shut
do?
my brain off move?
I like playing Tony Hawk a lot. I have like the remastered one
Nice.
and two for PlayStation. I'm also really big into NBA 2K and like Madden, but that kind of comes and goes depending on what's happening. I'm really big into really terrible shark movies, and I'm really big into Jurassic Park.
Ooh,
So
nice.
I saw the Jaws poster behind you, Jim.
Yes,
I saw
this is a Jaws household. We have cells from the film here,
Oh wow,
and with signatures from the cast on there
that's
as well.
sick.
My girlfriend has 2 Jaws tattoos.
Damn, that's right.
Yeah, and she has 3 tattoos.
So 2 out of
2
3
of them are
Jaws.
Jaws. One is a black heart on her wrist because she works for the Black Hearts. So she has a big Jaws tattoo on her shoulder, and then she has a Jaws tattoo like on her leg that is the chalk drawing from in the movie when they were talking about it, and Quint was showing it on the board. It's like that really like rudimentary little drawing.
Yeah,
And she got that in a van on Warped Tour.
go figure.
Yeah.
That's sick. I have like a Jaws like dress shirt, and it just says like we're gonna need a bigger boat, and it's
Nice.
it has like the logo and everything. But I wear it sometimes to like meetings and stuff, and people are like, "What is that?" I'm like, "If you know, you know."
Yeah, I feel like, man, if you don't know that line, if of all
Right.
the Jaws, we're
Yeah,
gonna need a bigger boat. If you don't know that line, we're not going to work together.
yeah, it's just,
This might not work out.
yeah. It's just not gonna be a good time.
But yeah, so yeah, we got a lot of Jaws here, a lot of Jaws and a lot of superheroes in this place. That's
That's
what we
what's
do. But Jurassic Park too, man. We are huge Jurassic Park
Big
people.
fans. We actually a couple of weeks ago we had a dude with a Jurassic Park tattoo. He had Mr. DNA.
Yeah,
Oh, that's sweet.
Tattooed on him. And that
which is sick. Yeah,
And,
He's
and
like
like
the
it's
more
one of
underrated
those
character.
things where it's like Mr. DNA is awesome, right? But he's not necessarily something that like you think, oh, I've got a Jurassic Park thing. And you think, okay, it's T-Rex, or oh, it's a Gates, or oh, it's a this,
Right,
or oh, it's that. Mr. DNA is like the low key. Wow, this is awesome.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah, he's I don't know if y'all have ever played the Lego Jurassic World.
yes,
Like, but he's like in that as like basically like the do-it-all little
Yeah.
guy.
yeah. He lets you know everything.
He lets you know
Yeah.
everything, but he's also a playable character.
Yes,
I learned
Yeah.
that. So my son plays Jurassic. His life is Jurassic World. So the PS4 game was his life for so long. And when we first got it, he was younger. He didn't really get how to do things, and he'd always just be like, "Daddy, figure this out." And he'd pull me downstairs, and we'd go and we'd start playing. And I'd be like, "Okay, what you have to do is this, 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 and this." And I'd fail the mission, and then he'd be like, "Oh, that's what you have to do. Cool." And he just like, bloop, 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 bloop. Up he'd go. Hit the checkpoint. That's how you do it. It's like, oh, okay, cool. I'm just a pawn. Thanks.
Yeah, that game takes quite a while to finish. I feel like I spent
it's a long one.
long time on it.
I gotta say the Lego games have been pretty sweet. Like some of them, when they get them right, they get them right.
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was really, really good. I also like the DC villain one that they came out with. I think 2 years ago they came out with that.
Oh, I didn't see that one.
I remember it was like right at the beginning of the pandemic, and it was like, well, we're getting this and we're playing this every day, all day.
Yeah.
But that was a really cool one too, where you're playing all the villains, so you get to like be the Joker and be.
So
Harley
Gavin actually hasn't gone back to Jurassic Park, and I have a follow-up story that's very funny too. That apple doesn't fall far from the tree, but so he got like 80-something% done with a file, and one day he just like went in. He's like, I want to do. My son's 8, and he's like, I just want to do a new thing. I want to start from the beginning. So he started, and by mistake, he overwrote his main.
Oh.
And he was like, I didn't know what overwrite means. And I said, overwrite? You'd never overwrite. No, don't do it. Don't do it. So yeah, that was his thing. So he lost everything. But also, his mother, Jen, my wife, she is all about like the old video games, like the consoles, the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, all that kind of stuff. She was really far along in Mario World, and she lost all of her saves, and sure enough, she hasn't played it since. So as soon as she was just like, I'm not gonna fucking play this anymore, and Gavin also was like, I got so far, and now I started a new mission. I by mistake did this. I'm not gonna play this anymore. I was like, apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
It's overwhelming.
It does take a while. That Jurassic. I mean, it takes like literally like I feel like a year almost. Like it's a long time.
Are you a Tim? Are you a like 100%er with video games, or
I am unfortunately. I'm doing that right now with Tony Hawk, so it's pain.
Yeah.
So I have, excuse me, I actually haven't downloaded the new Tony Hawks. So are you on 1? Because Tony Hawk 2 was kind of like my gold standard, if you will.
Yeah.
Mainly because of the soundtrack, but
I enjoy both of them. Like I just like playing any Tony Hawk game. I pretty much have like every single one, even like American Wasteland and Underground and all that. But I think they did a really good job just remastering it and making it interesting. And there's a ton of different like options for the game you can do, and they have like the online multiplayers. Okay, so
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, you should definitely get it if you're bored one day.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's one to do.
I'm super excited actually because later this year they're going to release the Cowabunga edition of all of the Ninja Turtle games.
Wow!
So they're doing NES, all 4 or 5 games. They're doing Game Boys, Genesis, Super Nintendo, the arcade games, everything. And it's like $40, and it's like 16 games.
That's a deal.
That is a deal. That's nuts.
I'm stoked.
Mike is a huge Ninja Turtles guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Probably the biggest Ninja Turtle guy that I've ever met, which is pretty sick. Like Ninja Turtles is awesome. So
yeah.
I mean, I don't do like other games too. Like Jim's all about like the first persons and the big like fantasy games and stuff like that. Give me a side scroll. I'm happy with side scroll. Give me a fighting game. That's my jam.
And Horizon Forbidden West is my jam right now.
Didn't that just come out?
Yeah. I just got it, and it's sick. It's crazy good.
Is it worth getting? I saw it. It looked pretty cool.
It's definitely worth getting. I don't have it on PS5 because I can't get a PS5 because no one can get a PS5, which sons of bitches. But if you get it for PS4, it comes with a free upgrade to 5.
Okay.
So I was like, all right, cool. I'll grab it.
Might as well.
It's definitely worth it. It's definitely cool if you're a third-person story-based type of gamer, if you like those kind of games.
Okay.
Those are I love those. I love like the Spider-Man game and Last of Us, and like those games are my jam. Like that's probably my go-to for gaming. And then after that, it's probably like third person. And then like I also love like the Tony Hawk back in the Crazy Taxi days, like all those games where like you can connect songs to them. As the first time you've heard a song, people will be like, "Where's that song from?" And you're like, Vice City. That's where that song's from. And they're like, "No, it isn't. That song was a hit at this point in time." You're like, "Vice City, man. That's what it's from. That's what it's from. That's from Tony Hawk, man. That's what it's from."
Also, so you guys are obviously foodies. You talked about all sorts of stuff. So Jim, I know you've got a food question for him, a very serious culinary question here.
Oh, I did. Now, I went in and I read a couple interviews and I listened to a couple podcasts, but I didn't see very many that you were involved in, and you were not the person that was involved in these culinary exploits here. So you're a good person to ask. As far as the band goes, if you have a choice, Flamin' Hot's Cheetos versus Purple Bag Doritos, those what is that? The Sriracha Hot
sweet chili
Doritos. Yeah.
We're going with the Doritos. Travis actually brings a bag on every tour that we go on. Of that,
he's the one that said that brought that up. He was like, "This has to be on tour."
Yeah, we don't really do. I don't really eat Flamin' Hot Cheetos, but like if I might steal a couple Doritos for sure. So
right.
I get that.
Nice.
Dude, those sweet chili ones are sick. We're food people too, so like we.
Yeah. Well, Buffalo Wild Wings for a little while actually had, like they had like a wing based on that. But all they did apparently, and I found this out from my coworkers, is all they did was take a little like condiment cup and like crush Doritos in it and put it in, and then put it on the wing. So it was one of their flavors that they already had, and then like their Thai chili thing that they already had, and then you just like, and that was it.
Buffalo Wild Wings is Bush League.
Yeah,
it sounds like a cop out.
Yeah,
it's a total cop out. If I had ever ordered that, I'd just be like, lame.
Can't do it. All right, so I got two more things for you, and then we'll let you go, and we'll let you have the rest of your evening. And we've taken up a lot of your time. So one is just a quick, because you're a Jurassic Park fan. I recently just saw the trailer for the new one. Have you seen the trailer? Mm-hmm. And are you were you freaking out the way that I was freaking out when I saw that trailer? I was like, oh shit, oh, without spoiling.
Yeah,
things.
I was gonna say I was pleasantly surprised, seeing Dr. Grant,
mm-hmm.
Ian Malcolm's back in it, Jeff Goldblum, and I forget what that other lady's name is. I just call her like Poop Lady because that's what she
yeah,
you know what I'm talking about.
Right, yeah.
So yeah, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna hurt when this movie ends, but let's get it going.
Yeah, right. Like it's everybody's trying to get their end game thing. They're like, let's bring them all in, let's bring them all back. But yeah, I saw that trailer too, and I was just like, gets me all these feelings happen, and you're like, yes, I can't wait. I cannot wait for this.
Mix of the old cast and then obviously the world cast. So
have you been digging the World series?
I really liked the first one. Yeah, the second one I thought it was like kind of hit and miss. I don't really watch that one. Like I don't think it has like a ton of replay value for me personally, just because I feel like it's less about the dinosaurs and more about like the
story.
Yeah, like the story, and it's kind of darker, like thematically. I feel. I just want to see a T-Rex tear up some people and go crazy. So that's what I'm all about.
Yeah, give me what I want.
Yeah. So hopefully this next one is like, I mean, they have velociraptors running around, the woods. So
yeah,
I think all bets are off.
I love that this one. I wasn't a super fan of the second one coming to America and giving me a Godzilla moment. I didn't need that. I was like, all right. Yeah. But now the way that they told this, I am really excited to see the impact of dinosaurs on our world. With them all coming over and it being like a real thing, where it's like nature taking it back. I think that's pretty cool. Somehow nature's going to kill us, so why not dinosaurs?
Honestly, might as well.
Why not dinosaurs? So I'm very excited to check that out. All right, last question for you. We'll get back to band things on this question. I wanted to ask you about the video for Lie Away Out, because it is out now, and that's what everybody needs to go check out, and is a great introduction to you guys if they don't know the music. If they do, it's a great song and it's a great video. I thought it was cool how the video seems very like almost inspired. At first it was kind of like, oh, this is kind of like the pandemic type thing where everybody's in a different area, and so like that was my mindset when I first started watching it. But then when I was listening to the lyrics and like another watching, I was like, oh wait, no, it's not really that. It seems more like it's like the song has a very like about crisis feel to it, and it almost feels like, okay, so we're not specifically like, oh, we're all in different rooms because of a pandemic. It's almost like we're all in our different spaces, emotionally trapped, pulling ourselves out, and we're making noise to get out, lie away out, all of that mixed with this interesting lyric of lie your way out, which is can be heard a bunch of different ways. I try not to put meaning on it because I like people to be able to get their own meanings, and I don't want to know what it's about. Like I don't want to know if it's not anything that I'm saying. I'd rather not. But what I wanted to ask is, since you guys all kind of have a hand in lyric writing sometimes, and you're all a part of the writing process, and you're all such a big part of these songs, is your writing again, is it based on mostly personal experience and then trying to move out from there? You're all poets, so are we approaching things from a poetic standpoint where we're looking at, okay, we have a theme or a story or something, and we're going to find an interesting and creative way to tell it? How much of that is, again, pre-planned and thought out and worked through from beginning till the end product, and how much of it is started kind of like open, and then different people point in different directions and you all kind of go, oh yes, this is it, that's the way, let's hang a left here, I like that idea? Like how does that kind of work? Does that make sense the way I asked that?
Yeah. I'll try and not get over the meaning of that song, I guess, just so I like to have people interpret the music however they'd like to.
Yeah.
And whatever the lyrics mean to you is totally fine. So I mean, that song touches on mental health, obviously, and kind of just being isolated and alone. You can kind of tell in the video where there's never any group shots, and that's intentional because we were trying to paint this picture of, isolation. People are going through their own, things kind of like in their head on a day-to-day basis. And, sometimes we're not totally like thrilled to be, playing music or just, doing day-to-day tasks, and it just takes like a toll. So yeah, that song, we had the concept for quite a while, and we like to touch on just like mental health and just kind of things we're kind of feeling. So when we went in the studio, that was a song that we had really planned out, like as far as like the lyrical content that had been written even before the music, and then we kind of matched the like the music to the lyrics. We just wanted it to be a little bit I guess more darker, especially some of like the picked out notes and stuff, just making it a little more heavier, I guess. I don't know how to say it. More reflective. So does that answer the question? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I mean, like there's no there's no wrong answering to the question. I found it interesting, and so I always like to get into I'm a songwriter, so I like to get into the head of other songwriters and see kind of like a little bit about their process, especially when they work in terms of a group doing it, because I've always kind of like brought songs to a band, right? And it's been like, okay, I wrote lyrics and here's a melody and here's a progression, and now as a band, let's tear that apart and put it back together and figure out what we want to do with it. But lyrics have always been super personal to me. So it's interesting to me to talk to anybody that, one, writes lyrics, but even more so when you have a band that kind of is coming at it in a different way than I've done it just 'cause I like to learn about that shit. And I hate telling people what songs are about because I don't want to be the guy that ruins a song for you because it means something to you. And when you ask me if that's what it is, I go, oh, no, not at all. And then now you don't get to have that attachment anymore. I'd hate to be that person. So that's why I was like, don't tell me what it's about.
Okay. Right.
Don't blow it for me.
Yeah, as far as the songwriting goes for that, I think Travis had like presented the idea. Travis and John worked on that song maybe like 4 years ago, and it's just like a really personal track for Travis. So we really wanted to just be able to hash it out and like spend proper time on it. So they wrote all the lyrics quite a while ago, and they had like the melody for the chorus and everything kind of picked out a long time ago. But yeah, when we were in the studio, we actually we referenced a Demi Lovato song when we were kind of like molding that song out, which I think is really funny because I don't go out of my way to listen to her. But John was like, yeah, let's try this. And it was like just the way the melody was, it kind of like went, I don't know, it just kind of clicked. And they were like, all right, let's build it out, kind of have, sadder verses and then the really big, like kind of stadium rock type chorus or something, and just kind of see where it goes.
Nice. Very cool.
Cool, man.
Well, yeah, we've taken up plenty of your time. Thank you so much for hanging with us. We appreciate it very much.
Absolutely. Yeah, this was a super fun chat. I definitely appreciate y'all having me on, and y'all are cool. I hang out with you in real life, so
yeah, man. Like honestly, so let's do it again. We'll have our people talk to your people.
Right.
Totally down. And I will have my bandmates actually join me.
No, don't. That's fine.
They missed it.
Yeah, 100%.
All good. So before we sign off here, can you please let everybody know where they can find everything Telltale?
Yeah, we're you can find us on Spotify at Telltale. We're also on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Telltale RVA, and we also have a website, www.telltalerva.com. And if you want to pick up a shirt or something, it's totally on there. So yeah, we're pretty accessible too as far as like personal accounts go.
Sweet. So before we sign off here, we did say there was going to be a test.
Okay.
Yeah, that's true.
I didn't study.
Jim, you want to tell them what that test is?
Well, the test is the test that everybody goes through every single day. Just to try and make your day a little bit better, you have to ask yourself one question. And that one question can really improve your life if you figure it out. Do you, Tim, remember what that question is?
I don't know. It's something.
What's your bacon?
Bacon.
Yeah, what's your bacon? It's okay.
What's your bacon? Always remember, ask yourself, everybody listening, every single day. It'll improve. It'll improve your life. I promise. Well, I don't promise. Don't quote me on it or anything like that. But seriously, just ask yourself, what's your bacon?
I'll do that tomorrow morning when I sign on for work.
Nice.
And there you have it. We're going to rush this outro.
Yeah. Where can they find you?
Me personally, you can find me at Me My Own Self Mike on all the social platforms. My band at Something Heavy Music. Something Heavy you could find on all digital streaming platforms. Jimsy, what about you and your things?
You can find me, Jimmy G's Shoes, on all the socials. You can find my band Craving Strange at cravingstrange.net, which will give you links to all the socials and our new single, I Run Away, which is out now. You can check out my other band, Crash Transit, who just put out a new record called Lightspeed. Definitely check that out. You can check out Bacon Is My Passion, which is me and Mike's passion project of music that started this whole shebang.
Indeed.
It's also on all streaming platforms. Check that out. If you're listening to this podcast on streaming platforms, give us those 5-star reviews. If you want to check out what we look like or what any of our guests look like, check out strangerhoodtv.com or
big
YouTube.com.
Special thank you to our BIMP squad over on Patreon. That's
that alarm's for them. Woohoo!
Yeah. Whoop whoop. Bang bang bang. Thank you, patrons. You can go over there. Bacon is my Patreon.com. Bacon is my podcast, and you can get extra shows, early access, extended shows, commercial free shows, live streams, all sorts of fun stuff, and
Absolutely.
and it helps keep the lights on, and it helps keep our glasses full. And until then,
Keeping the conversation,
Please.
hashtag what's your bacon, keeping the conversation with Bacon Pod, and please, like you were about to say.
I was going to say, and I totally forgot that. Thank you for telling me and reminding me. But until then, always remember to ask yourself the one most important question of the day.
This is what rushing sounds like. What's your bacon?
We're done.